Hello everybody. Let's understand the anatomical basis of Erb's palsy and Klumske paralysis. Please don't forget to answer the questions in the comment box as well as like and share. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscription button and notification bell. Take a quick look of brachial plexus first in order to understand the topic efficiently. You can see here the brachial plexus. So this plexus is formed by the ventral rami of C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1 spinal nerve, which forms its root. Now the roots join to form the trunk. Now upper, middle and lower trunk. Now this upper trunk is by C5 and C6 root, middle one by the continuation of C7 and the lower this by C8 and T1 roots joined to form the lower trunk. Each trunks divide into anterior and posterior division. These division form the three cords, that is the lateral, medial and posterior cords, and finally these cords end into the nerves to innervate the muscles in the regions. And we can see all these nerve: axillary one, musculocutaneous. So axillary is by the C5 and C6, musculocutaneous by C5, C6, C7, radials by C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. We can see. Now we can see the details of the brachial plexus clicking here on the I button. So this Erb's palsy, also known as Erb's Duchenne palsy, which developed due to the injury of brachial plexus at Erb's point. Now let's see where is this. This is the Erb's point. We can see Erb's point. Now get enlarge this Erb's point. Here we can see this Erb's point, where we can see the roots C5 and C6 roots of brachial plexus join to form this upper trunk, and from this upper trunk we can see here this the nerve originate is the suprascapular nerve, and here we can see the nerve to subclavius originate. Now this trunk further get divided into anterior and posterior division. You can see here the anterior division and the lower one is the posterior division. Now we can say that so this point is by the meeting of the six nerves, the C5, C6 anterior posterior divisions, nerve to subclavius and suprascapular nerve. This is often asked in exam. So how the injury occur at the Erb's point? It occurred due to crushing or forcibly stretching of the upper trunk of brachial plexus at the upper trunk. In adults, generally it occurs due to fall on the shoulder, and in newborn due to excessive pulling of the head during the delivery. Let's see the clinical presentation of the case with Erb's palsy, where we can see the shoulder rotated forward here and affected arm diminished in the length and the girth, as well as we can see here at the wrist this weighted tip deformity of the affected wrist, as well as we can see the cervical scoliosis, bird's winging of the affected scapula and lumbar scoliosis. Now we will see Klumske's paralysis. So this is due to the injuries to the roots of C8 and T1 or to the lower trunk of brachial plexus. So these injuries which happen here, whose mechanism we will discuss soon. So the injury at this C8 and T1 or the lower trunk, which result into median nerves and ulnar nerve, which finally affecting to the small muscles in the hand. So how these injuries occur, we will see. So here we can see C8 and T1 and the lower trunk which get injured, and these injuries occur due to hyperabduction of the arm, and this we can see clearly in this image how the hyperabduction is taking place in the arm. So in adult, it occurs generally when a person falls from a height and tries to hang by holding an object, and in the newborn occur at the time of the delivery when a baby pulls out by excessive force on forearm. In this image you can clearly see the force applied in the forearm result in this. So fibers of C8 and T1 runs in median and ulnar nerve. As a result of this, all the small muscles of the hands are affected. Now we will see the clinical condition. So such cases are clinically presented with the claw hand. You can see here the claw hand. Here we can see this is the claw hand. And another condition is Horner syndrome. So in this claw hand, supination of the forearm, extension of wrist joint, paralysis of intrinsic muscles of hand, and sensory loss along the medial border of this forearm and hand. So this result into a claw hand. Another clinical condition, this is the Horner syndrome, which I said. So this Horner syndrome happen due to autonomic disturbance. Why this autonomic disturbance take place? This is because synthetic fibers which passes through to this T1 segment. Clear? This T1 segment and to reach to the cervical ganglion. So we can see here, this is the point of the T1 segment, the root of the T1 segment. So the signal failed to reach to the cervical ganglion, as a result of which the clinical condition known as Horner syndromes occur, which clinically we see as a ptosis, anhidrosis, meiosis, anophthalmos, and loss of ciliospinal reflex. This how we finishes the topic. If you like this video, gives your thumbs up, and if you dislike, gives your thumbs down.